next guest, and we have two guests who will be in studio talking about a form of film that is not as common as your kawaida films.
So this is about learning now.
Yeah. We've laughed, we've been inspired.
Now we're going to learn.
Now we're going to learn.
All right.
Have you ever heard of stop animation? Stop what?
Yeah.
Not stopwatch, stop
right.
animation. One woman's here to tell you about it and share her work and creativity with us on AM Live.
She said, I will open the door, you won't close it. Walk in and out, but there's no stopping it. See, every second you be thinking of me, and when you're not, it's probably because you be here with me. I told her, hey baby, you're a diamond, you're confident. She like, that is a fact, not a compliment. So then I went back to my drawing board, thinking about what is it with this girl, how me floored. Temperature rising, I'm really going for it. Holla at her, baby, how you wanna get up on it? She looked at me like, man, you ain't ready for it. Turn around, then she smiled like she waiting for it. Heck confused, so now I'm going back. Text message, had me waiting, where she holler back? 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 3. I see a missed call, so I holler back. B, where you at?
Rain on my lips, snow on my fingertips. You write a song on my soul. Rain on my lips, snow on my fingertips. You write a song on my soul.
Same party, different person. Hot girls all come in my direction. In the past, yeah, you know, would've hit, but I'm changed, so I'm thinking, why didn't I stay getting near? Walk past him, my boy laughing, but I don't care. I'm looking for my diamond. She the reason why I'm here. I just started thinking, I hear a whisper in my ear. I think you're a sweet talker. Hey, I think you're a sweet talker. Hey, mommy, I think you don't exist, and this is all a dream. But tell me how real is this? I have what I want, and want what I have. See, hip hop, you my wifey, one and only. Nakupenda. Wait, she got me whipped like a slave. I surrender.
Rain on my lips, snow on my fingertips. You write a song on my soul. Rain on my lips, snow on my fingertips. You write a song on my soul.
Joining us to talk about stop animation and the possibilities in Kenya and indeed the world is Loi
Awat.
Awat.
Yes.
And of course Erick.
Yes, Eric.
Erick, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the show. It's
Good
great to
morning,
have you guys here. We woke you up very early, but thank you for making it on time.
Thank you.
Thank you very
It's
much.
good to be here.
Just what we've watched, before we even try to describe what stop animation is,
Yeah.
that's a beautiful song.
Okay, I didn't sing it, but yeah.
But you
it
know
is.
the people who did.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I do.
yeah.
And did they know about the concept that they wanted for the video before they talked to you, or did you come up with that for them?
No, the artist is called Pepe Hayes, and the singer is Steph McKee. And Pepe basically saw a stop motion that I had done before. So the style of the video is stop motion animation. And the artist saw a video that I had done in that style before. And he told me, you know what, just make me a video and go with it. So he didn't want me to tell him anything about what concept I would do, what types of styles I would use, what puppets I would use. He just told me, make something like what you did.
All right.
So I ran with it.
Talking
yeah.
about what you did, what was that? Help us now understand stop animation.
Okay.
What is it?
Stop animation is a very simple style of animation. I would compare it to traditional animation, yeah? In traditional animation, each frame of what you watch is drawn. So the artist would draw Mickey Mouse in this position, then draw Mickey Mouse in that position, then that. And when it's all put together, it makes a video. So stop animation is the same, it's just that instead of drawing, we take photos.
Yeah.
So we take photos of each frame that goes into the show, which is kind of what film does. We just go the longer way and do it more manually. It gives it a nice style. It allows you to do things that you wouldn't do in, live action. So that's how stop is done.
All right. Now, Loi, this is a passion you've had for how many years?
Yes, oh my gosh.
Because it's
4
so
years.
select, you know?
Yeah,
it's very select.
I've done stop motion for about 4 years, and I kind of stumbled into it by accident. I was a young filmmaker, or I was a young wannabe, trying to find out how I can make my own movies, because I didn't have money, I didn't have equipment, I didn't have, anywhere to start. So I just went online, did an internet search of how can I make a movie, and how can I make a movie cheap or without a budget. And one of the results that came is stop motion, because stop motion allows you to kind of you can set up a miniature set, like maybe this table here would be a set, and all you need is a camera basically and an idea. So for me, that's how I stumbled into stop animation, just trying to make something cheaply, trying to tell a story in a very cheap way. I stumbled into stop animation and I fell in love with it. I love it, it takes so much time, so much energy, and so much concentration that you can go into it fully, and that's what I did. So about 4 years now, I've been, I've turned my bedroom into, instead of my work table, now it's an animation table.
It's a set.
It's a set, yes.
All by yourself. But what about you, Eric?
First, about animation, or but just about film?
Yeah, about animation before film.
Stop motion animation.
Yes.
I learnt about it from Loi, actually. We went to
Yeah.
university together. And so about our second, third year, I saw that video. And the gentleman who did the video was also, a student in the same university. And so I was like, hey, Loi, what is this? And, I had no clue at all what it was. But I had a lot of interest in film and television. And so Loi sat me down and, she explained it to me how it was and everything. And I had a lot of interest. We were talking about 3 years ago? 3 years
Yeah,
ago?
3.
Yeah. And so all this time she said, you know what, we are going to do a stop motion thing. I was like, come on, Loi, write me a 10-minute script, because she's also a brilliant writer. And that never happened for the last 3 years, until a few weeks ago when, I saw something that she had posted online, and she said, I have something. And just when I was just going through it and getting amazed at the synopsis alone, I get a phone call from her, and she was like, I have a project, it's, 10-15 minutes long. I think this is the best short film I've written so far. Do you want in? Without even reading the script, I was like, yes.
Well, you should have read the script.
I did later.
But that just goes to show the kind of faith that you have in her talent,
Yeah.
and her passion.
Oh yeah.
Because I think the people who will bring you all sorts of things, and you can just tell, I'm going to lose my money here.
Yeah.
Let me not even bother.
Yeah.
But of course, with stop animation, there are challenges. It may be a cheaper way of putting together a wonderful film,
Yeah.
but that doesn't necessarily mean it's cheap.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is also an
also-
expensive
yeah, it's
undertaking.
also
So let us
pricey.
know about the kind of expenses you face.
I think just for the story we're doing now, which is a short film, and maybe it will run about 15 minutes,
Yeah.
give or take. And we are shooting it on a set of 8 by 8 feet. That's it. And we are using, puppets this high, less than maybe
1
like
foot.
1 foot,
Yeah.
like 1 foot long, and with a crew and cast of about 30 people. Without paying crew and cast, just for puppets and the set, we're looking at 100,000 plus,
Yeah.
Wow.
just for the puppets and the set alone.
Is this we've not even talked about director's fee.
We are not
No,
paying
nothing.
anybody at all.
So
We are not
everybody's just
paying-
volunteering
Yeah.
their time
Exactly.
and their
Everyone
talent
is volunteering
to put
their
this
time.
together.
Yeah, the beauty with this
So-
project, I think, is the team, because we have a great team of people who've just come together to say, okay, we believe in this idea and we believe this story should be made, so let's do it. So for now, as he said, we have huge expenses in terms of just building the sets, getting the board, getting the paint, doing the work. It does, in as much as it's cheaper than live action if we would have to tell the story, it does have its own expenses, because you have to pretty much create a world on, you have to get the boards, you have to get wood, you have to get whether it's plastics,
Okay.
So-
Coming from what has happened to Lupita, and we're celebrating Kenya, and just knowing that the people outside of Kenya, outside of Africa, who are thinking, okay, so there's something,
Yeah.
the gifted people coming from this place. If you look at where we are with stop animation in Kenya versus, say, America, for instance, there's a lot that we need. There's a lot
Yeah.
you need,
Yeah.
Loi. And if you look at the kind of support that the film industry is getting from the government, Do you think there should be specific allocations for stop animation? Have you ever talked to them in terms of, can you help me fund my project, or I have this and I'd like to do and I need help? Have you ever tried to look for funding from that avenue?
No, to be honest, from that avenue, no. And I feel like, you know, talking about with the Kenya Film Commission and other bodies that are set up to assist filmmakers, we have they deal with animation, or we deal with animation as a group of animation. So all 2D, 3D, and, you know, 2.5D stop motion will all be put in one group, and we kind of flow together. And as a stop motion animator, honestly, I don't feel that we need a separate allocation, because we work a lot with visual effect artists, 3D animators, and kind of fall into the same family. So I haven't honestly. Yeah, if anyone, you know, is watching this from the government, just give us money. It's fine.
And they can go to our Facebook page, you know, and our profile on Indiegogo and Mchanga, and, you know, it's Relief, the short film. You can Google it and you can find all the details there.
Yeah.
All right, and what's the name of the short film?
Relief.
Relief.
Yes.
And you've written the script?
Yes, I have a team of writers. We're 3 writers, and let me call myself the head writer. So there's 3 writers working on the script.
Okay.
Yeah.
The creative arts, and not everybody was born to be a doctor. I think as a society we're coming to terms with that, and we're beginning to accept it for what it is, and saying, okay, fine, you go ahead, express yourself in this field, express yourself in that field, but at the end of the day you're going to shoot Relief. Where are you going to screen it? Because let's just say it for what it is. If most people don't even know what stop animation is, and suddenly you're saying, come watch Relief, and people think, well,
I feel like, let me just take that first before Eriko. First of all, this before we even go into the way that the story will be told, I feel like the story in itself has currency, and trying to get people to be interested in the story. And so stop animation is just kind of like an added bonus, you know, it's a different type of look, you know, that you're getting. But then the story in itself should sell itself. And what you ask is very important in terms of where are we going to screen it, who's going to watch it, you know, because a problem with, and this is my personal thing with Kenyan film and the Kenyan film industry, is that our market basically is, it's owned by Hollywood and by the West. People don't watch, people don't, you know, have that zeal to watch local productions. So yeah, it's a big problem, and it's one that I feel like every filmmaker that will sit on this bench will talk about it. You know, how do we distribute our movies? How do we get our market interested? We have, on Relief, we have a team, you know, working on marketing and distribution, and some of our main avenues, of course, are festivals and trying to get a theater screening. If you can have it at the Junction, you know, just have guys come through, talk to us, watch the movie, tell us what they think. Trying to have a screening at, you know, wherever we'll take this movie, we want to have it there, you know, because the idea is to have people interested in watching Kenyan movies, to orient the market towards what we're offering, because that's the only way that people would want to watch it, if they're interested enough to, you know.
Okay, and in doing so, you begin to grow something that may not be as popular and as common, but then you begin, and it grows bit by bit, because even Hollywood didn't just grow overnight. It took time.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's more interest even outside Kenya than locally, and from the audiences watching from outside are even more interested that there's a stop motion film in Kenya. At the beginning, when we just opened to do our crowdfunding campaign, you know, the first few people to chip in money were from abroad, not even locally. Yeah. And so there's more eyes, more ears interested outside about a stop film animation in Kenya. And so, you know, they're interested. And our first, actually, one of our main target audiences, you know, the film festivals around the world. And so if the Kenyan market is not ready for us, then we're going to hit out, then God willing, we're going to come back, and people are going to enjoy our films after that, locally.
Yeah, and that's the vibe with Kenyans. Something hits first, and then it hits
come
fast
back.
outside, then people, even Lupita, you hit fast outside, then people are like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, we love you so much.
Yeah, oh, Lupita.
Kenyan, you're Kenyan.
Yeah, when she was doing Sugar, it was kind of like, oh, just
like,
Lupita.
She's just another actress.
Yeah.
Now that she's big, and, you know, but I feel like, and it's sad for me, it's sad, you know, that sometimes we do have to target outside, because that's where people are willing to say, okay, let's park a theater and just watch this, you know, short film. But I believe eventually, you know, Kenyans will watch this en masse, and I hope.
It's just a matter of time, and besides, they always say a prophet is not always welcome
Yeah,
or
it's so
accepted
sad.
in his own
It's so
hometown.
sad.
But then you have to go and do these amazing, great wonders there. Then now
Then
they'll
come
think,
back, yeah.
okay, we kind of like this person, and this person is ours.
Yeah.
But in looking at making a life, not just filming the stories and telling the stories that you need to tell, stop animation works great because you've got a great script, you've got wonderful cast who will donate of their time and their talents, which is wonderful.
Yes.
But for you, at the end of the day, and knowing that this is painstaking work, you're rearranging things and taking a photograph, rearrange it again,
Yes.
take another photograph, rearrange and take. It can take months and months and months.
Yeah.
How do you keep things going? Because we've had artists on AM Live who say, I'm a banker, but I also write. I am a farmer, but I also do this on the side.
Yeah.
Stop animation takes your whole entire day.
Yeah.
So you can't be sitting on two things and saying this one is going to help me during the day, then at night
Yeah.
I'm rearranging things in the house and taking photographs. Making a living is what I'm asking. Are you comfortable? Or do you have to rely on support from family, from friends, from partners even? Because it's so time consuming.
Yes.
And we've established demand in Kenya is not as great as it should be. Making a life and being comfortable. Alex, I'm going to ask you that first.
For me, I work professionally in the television industry. I've been lucky to do documentaries and a TV show. I'm venturing into live events, hopefully commercials, and eventually feature-length films. And for her, it's the same.
Yeah.
And
It's 100%.
yes, and majority of the team work
Works
also
in
in the
TV,
TV industry,
yeah.
and so we are donating our time to come and do a production that we are not guaranteed will give us financial gain, but we know it's gonna, push our career to the next level. We're still young in the industry. There's many people who are way ahead of us, and we can't always get as much experience, working in the places that we work. And so we donate our extra time to, do short films and, projects like this so that we can, grow our career, grow our experiences and skills.
Right.
Yeah.
And I suppose the biggest challenge for some who could be watching right now, they could be parents, they could be young people who've always known this is what I want to do. They are talking about something that gives me life, that gives me joy. No, it happens. We have guests on the show and they connect with people because you're vibrating on the same frequency. You found a way to break through in a place, in a field where this other person has struggled, and they're seeing themselves in you and they're wondering, now how does that get to be me? So the question is, learning about stop animation. For you, it started with knowing that stop animation is a channel that won't use up as much funding as, say, your mainline movies.
Yeah.
But the art of it, the skill, did you have more lessons? Did you go to workshops? Because you have to keep working on your craft. Finding something and knowing I like this and it's what I want to do is very different to learning about it and doing it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about getting better and honing your craft.
For me, I feel like it's been, because I learned about it online, I didn't have any kind of formal training, and I haven't had any kind of formal training in stop animation. And the beauty with stop animation is that you don't actually need, to go to film school for this number of years or whatever months, It's something that once you get the gist of it, then you just practice and you just learn, and you learn as you go. So I feel like because ever since I started, I've kind of tried to keep consistently doing something. And as you go, you kind of learn new tricks, and you kind of just pick up as you go, pick up stuff as you go. So for me, that's how it has been. And I feel honestly that for anyone that would want to do this type of animation, you would just need to kind of practice and build your skill as you go and learn new things as you go. So the animation that I did last year or 3 years ago that you saw can't be like what I'm doing now, can't be on the same level, because I've learned so much more about how to make puppets, how to make sets, and just reading up on magazines, reading up online. It's kind of a self-taught skill, and I believe anyone can self-teach this type of thing. The thing with stop motion is that you just have to be patient enough to get the scenes done, because it takes so much energy to kind of move an object. Let's say if we want to animate this cup, to move the object that way and then that way, and you're trying to get all the way to here, but you have to take such small steps.
Oh, and the full range of motions that the
Yeah,
puppet's
with
going to-
with a human type of body, you
Yeah.
kind of just have to be patient enough to learn, to learn to get the scenes done. And for me, that's how it has been.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just to emphasize her point, Sheila, the thing is, like for example, myself, I've never done stop motion before. I've only directed live action. And so when I was invited on board to direct this project, I had to do a lot of learning online and from Loi concerning stop motion, but apply the little experience I had from live action just to make sure that, this story is told in the right way.
Okay.
And so even for us, we are also learning as we do it. I
And you
think-
can't yell at the objects. I said it motion.
Yeah, you just try and do it over and over again, and you just try to animate a cup for 10 seconds, do it again, 5 seconds, 3 seconds, and you can do it in your bedroom. That's the good thing. And over time, over a year, 2 years, you get, you start perfecting your art, and that's how you improve yourself. Even for people who go to film school, they leave film school after 4 years and they come back and they have to start learning
relearn,
according,
Oh, wow, and I think
how
that's
the
the
industry
biggest challenge for
learns.
anybody, to relearn things.
Yeah.
To go back to the drawing board and say, everything I know, I don't know, and
Yeah,
start
because
afresh.
each new, with film, with each new type of project, with each new set that you're on, you learn new things. And it's beautiful because film is such an interactive space. You're working with so many people and coordinating and learning from this guy, learning from that guy, picking up stuff. So it's always as the more you go and the more you do what you love, the more you learn and you kind of get into it more. Same thing with stop motion.
All right. Now, talking about a film and watching a music videos are fairly easy because you're not necessarily recording the audio because it's already been recorded. The musician has already recorded it in the studio, and it's just simply following the lyrics in the song. But when you've got a movie, I think the challenges for directors is you're not only just taking the visuals, you're also listening to what is being said on the set, and then you're matching it and you're melding it all together. Now, when it comes to stop animation, for instance, you've got puppets, and some of them are just not talking. They're not emoting. They're not going to look sad because, there's certain things you just want to capture, and maybe the puppet was created with a smile, like, hi, and you want it to look like my world has just ended, and she's still like, still smiling. So being able to capture emotion and convey it with animation, would you say that is a big challenge? And if it is, how do you get over humps like those?
It is a big challenge actually, but we are trying to overcome it by two things. One, a cast, an amazing cast. Like yesterday we had a rehearsal of the two main, actors, and so we try to bring out the characters using the voices. But it's so hard for them because they're holding a script and they're standing behind a microphone. So it's so hard to bring that anger, that that enthusiasm from them. And they're people who were used to acting in live action. Camera goes on, there's lights, and automatically the thing comes on. And so we're trying to push them so that we can get the best results from them. That's one of them. The second thing is through our camera movements and our choice of shots. It's so funny, the puppet that we're using, it has a head that's small, and it's smiling and can't open and close the mouth. But we're going to do that in post-production. We're going to find a way how we can open the mouth and close it, because they're still photos. It's going to take us forever to do it, but we are going to do it. So we're going to find a way how we can make the the face frown a bit, and hold on to a certain shot, or go in or go out. We're going and use some music behind it so that we can bring out the emotion that we're trying to drive home. Especially for the script that she wrote, it's very emotional, and it's pushing the story. The story is very intense, so we just have to try and pull it through.
All right. In talking about animation and puppets, we've got XYZ, and I think they've got the biggest show right now. When you think about puppets that create an emotion, not just for the puppeteers, but for the whole nation that watches, they engage. And we've had several of the puppeteers from XYZ on our show to just talk about the creative process, to talk about execution as well. And we also spoke to a man who tours a lot, and he travels with his little puppet, and it's called Lubendi. And Lubendi speaks Spanish. Yes, he does. And when you think about the animation work you do, have you had the opportunity to, say, travel outside of Kenya to showcase your work, to learn from others?
First of all, I'll say I write for the XYZ show.
She writes for
really?
the
I'll
XYZ
shout
show.
out to everyone watching.
I mean,
from
we're going to
XYZ.
end up with the whole entire cast of XYZ
I
here.
know. I wish I was on that show. So.
No, we are fairly new. You know, stop motion is new, and we've done this. I haven't actually managed to travel or to showcase. The video that we just saw was, you know, was shown on Burundi on TV in Burundi. But apart from that, no. It's a fairly new thing in this region, and it's something that I'm new to as well, and learning and kind of just now making networks and making connections, because this is the first, you know, short film that I'm doing in this format, and, you know, trying to get into it more, trying to establish myself as a stop motion animator. So now, hopefully now, if I come back next year and you ask me that question, I'll say yes, you know, because now I'm making the networks, and I'm actually now talking to people abroad who do stop motion, and people who run festivals and magazines, and, you know, now just learning about the world, you know, because previously I've been doing this, but I've been in my own little circle, kind of just trying to do stuff and trying to learn, trying to grow my skill. Now I'm ready to tell a story in this format, so now I'm, you know, putting it out there.
Yeah, the possibilities are open.
Oh yes, yeah.
And the question that I'm going to ask next, of course, concerns mentoring others, because you're breaking new ground and you're heading in a direction that is fresh and new, and sometimes it's exciting, but it's also daunting. But there are believers who look and think, yes, she's setting off like Christopher Columbus, I want to be on her ship. How do I get on board? And there could be those who are watching and are thinking, yep, that's where I'm going. Sirudi Nyuma. Are you mentoring others? Are you open to working with newbies?
Yeah, definitely. For this project, this is the first thing we're doing, and we kind of just stumbled into it. So for this project, what we've decided as a team is to create a behind-the-scenes video. Yeah, so it will be like a documentary of how we're making this movie and each and every step. And we've been with the documentary filmmaker from the beginning, from the script meetings to, you know, buying the sets, going to Gikomba, getting the wood, going into stationery shops, getting the paints and all that. So it should be a nice, hopefully a nice tutorial when we're done with this movie of exactly what the process was for us, you know. And I feel like, because I've learned a lot, honestly, from tutorials, and I feel like a lot of filmmakers or independent filmmakers in Kenya have learned a lot from watching behind the scenes, from watching how this was done. So for us, that's what we want to do with this. Now that we're doing it, we would want to share it with people, even though maybe you're not in Nairobi or you wouldn't be able to come to the set or to visit us or to watch this show. You know, hopefully if you get the behind-the-scenes documentary, you'd have a step-by-step experience with us. And for us, and for me, in terms of mentoring, honestly, I love stop motion. I would love for more people, you know, just to tell people how to do it and to show people my studio, which is my bedroom. You know.
No shame in that.
Yeah, it's
and
fine.
that's
It
fun.
works, you know.
Yes.
Just to show people how it's done, I honestly am open to that. But for now, within what we can do with this movie is just to create a documentary of behind the scenes of how we did it, how each and every hurdle that we had, each and every victory. And so, yeah, that will be a nice point.
All right.
And some of the photos are online already, so there are people who are following the process as we go on.
Yes,
so.
yes.
And they can start practicing based on
They can
what
start
you've
practicing already.
Yeah,
we
post.
start shooting on Friday, so people can follow it already, because we're putting up photos, and, you know, we have a very interactive marketing team that, you know, is keeping everyone up to date with whatever is happening.
Oh, right.
So people are interested.
And you never know, common suggestions can even make the process work
Definitely.
faster.
Yes, yeah.
Can give you a different way of shooting things or
Yeah.
looking at things, and that's always a good thing.
Yes.
All right, before we wrap up, because it's incredible how time flies, I promised you it would. We've
Oh,
got
man.
Kobe waiting by our touch screen, and she's got feedback from our social media sites.
Yes,
Kobe.
I do. And you know, I just have to say that it takes a patient person to get into stop motion. You guys are doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
You have some really great feedback. Maura Precious says, do they do cartoon animations for kids? Because our kids are watching foreign films. it's high time we started showing our own, he says. And he's right. Isaac says, are they willing to take up an additional cast? And you've just said that, yeah? I don't know how many people you're willing to take into your bedroom. And then Andrew Rotich says, awesome creativity. Rover Boy says, morning buddies. Kings, it's an awesome work there. Keep it up. Please, I wish you can host me to showcase my music and movies. Go to YouTube to view. Don't worry, we'll give you a chance. And then Gray Collins has a really good question. I think this can wrap up the discussion. I don't understand why there are animation schools, but there's no market, you know? And even in saying that, and Sheila and I talk about this all the time, is like I think it's a Kenyan thing. We have this sense of monopolization. So if Emmanuel Jambo worked with True Love, it will only be Emmanuel Jambo that will take photos forever. You know what I mean? And we never give room for other people. So the guy who did animation for Safaricom, that's the one guy that they will always go to. And it's a bit unfair, don't you think?
Yes.
What can you say?
It is.
And how would you like to see it change?
I think first we as an audience need to turn up and just start consuming Kenyan content. Then that is going to open the platform for many other people out there.
Yeah.
Because you know, there's only a certain number of limited, you know, local shows because they're expensive to run, and you know, TV stations can only buy as much because there's not as many people watching them. You know, people would rather watch Mexican soap operas and that kind of thing. So it kind of, you know, trickles down to the producers and, you know, the content providers like ourselves, which becomes hard. But if the market is huge, then the demand will be huge, and you know, we'd have more producers, more directors, more writers, and competition will be high, and you know, in turn we are going to improve our work. But you find writers who write really good scripts and, you know, really good stories, but they're very expensive to produce. And, you know, the broadcaster is not willing to do that because the audience is not willing to do that. And, you know, the advertiser, you
So
know.
this is boiling down
It's boiling
to
down
the
all
market.
the...
To the market, yes.
To the ordinary Kenyan.
Exactly. So the ordinary Kenyan needs to turn up to theaters and watch, you know, 200, pay 200-300 to watch a local film instead of paying 1,500 to watch.
Spider-Man.
Thank you.
5.
I didn't want to
They
mention
come back
names.
on the web.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's
And
not
buy
to say
original DVDs.
buy original, support original.
Yeah.
And of course, for you, Loi, going forward with your project, what sort of support would you like?
I agree fully because the market being present supports the industry. So fully, I wouldn't say, you know, I could say, you know, give me money, or I could say I want, you know, a film school or something. But I feel like if the market is there, then all these other things follow. So I would just want for Kenyans to kind of watch local movies. And we work so hard to make good stuff, you know. So I feel like when the market is willing and receptive and we are open to say, okay, it's a Kenyan movie, so try watch it, because I've seen amazing, amazing Kenyan movies. I feel like the market would support the rest of us, you know, trying to make movies, trying to tell stories. That's all I would ask for, is for the market, for people to just watch and for people to be open to Kenyan stories and Kenyan film.
All right.
Yeah.
Be proud of our heritage, be proud of who we are. And of course, then the challenge becomes, it comes to you as filmmakers, as producers, as directors, to make quality work, because it's not about mediocrity and passing it off as, but it's Kenyan. No, it's quality work that you're giving us, and we can stand up and be proud of it.
Yes.
Right. We wish you all the very best.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you
and,
very
and
much,
keep
Sheila.
us posted. Let us know how things are going. Share
Really
some of
will.
those pictures with us, and we can share them
Thank
on
you.
our social media pages
Thank
as
you
well.
very
But
much. Thank you.
again, thank you very much for making the time for us
All
this
right.
morning.
Thank you for having us here.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you're going to make a stop animation for Kobe and I.
Yeah,
We're going to be the 2 stars of the stop animation for kids. I think it could be great fun.
It
It would
would
be
be
awesome.
You never
That's
know.
a challenge you've given us.
Possibilities. We're looking at possibilities.
Then we'll
Yeah.
come back again.
And then you'll be back here and
With
you'll
this-
bring the
with
little
that animation.
Yes,
Yeah.
we love it. If you'd like to be in touch with Eric and Loi, we are going to post their social media contacts on our social media pages, so you can keep this conversation going. And if it's something you're interested in, hey, maybe they will give you that break you're looking for. We're all set to take a break, but when we come back, a super conversation on keeping that spark alive.